In an age when loyalty was bought with blood and honor hung by a thread, one empire faced betrayal from the very hands that built it. Rome's glory was under siege, not by foreign foes, but by its own sons. The wind carried the scent of smoke and iron across the Rhine frontier, twisting through the crumbling walls of Rome's northern fortresses. Lanterns flickered against the stone, casting long, dancing shadows that seemed to whisper secrets. Somewhere in the darkness, a legion betrayed its own empire, and the world as Rome knew it teetered on the edge of chaos. Marcus Valerius, centurion of the loyal 12th Legion, crouched atop the battlements, eyes fixed on the river below. The night was alive with tension. Far across the water, enemy fires glowed like molten gold, yet it was not the barbarians he feared most. No, Marcus had learned a truth more dangerous than any foreign army. Betrayal came from within. Some of Rome's finest, his brothers in arms, had been bribed to abandon their posts. "Ye centurion," whispered Gaius, his young scout, voice tight with fear. "They're moving. Our own men are marching into the valley." Unarmed, Marcus's jaw tightened, his heart pounded, not from the looming battle, but from the knowledge that trust had fractured like shattered glass. The 12th Legion, known for its unwavering discipline, was on the verge of collapse, not from enemy blades, but from treachery sown in secret councils of marble and velvet back in Rome. At the same time, in the Senate's shadowed halls, Cassius Varro, a cunning general with a silver tongue and a serpent's ambition, smiled behind a carved column. Letters passed between his allies like poison-tipped arrows. He had promised the barbarian chieftain safe passage if the 12th fell, ensuring Rome's northern borders would bleed without a single Roman victory. Back on the battlements, Marcus could hear the distant drumbeat of war, hooves pounding the earth, warriors shouting in strange tongues. The loyal legions prepared to hold their ground, unaware that their comrades were retreating in silence, leaving them exposed. Marcus knew that the next few hours would decide the fate of hundreds of men, maybe the empire itself. "Rally the men," Marcus commanded, his voice slicing through the night like a gladius. "If Rome falls tonight, it will not fall quietly. We fight or die with honor." Lightning split the sky, revealing a river valley swarming with enemies. Arrows began to rain like deadly hail. Marcus drew his sword, its blade gleaming with reflected firelight. Around him, loyal soldiers tightened their grips on shields and spears, ready to face a battle that should have been theirs alone. But before the first clash, a horn blared from the rear. Marcus froze, dread twisting in his stomach. He knew that sound. It was the signal of betrayal. The legions they had trusted were gone. Marcus's eyes widened in horror as he realized the truth. They were surrounded. And at the heart of this nightmare, Cassius Varro's laughter echoed through the hills, carried by the wind, promising death, dishonor, and a reckoning Rome had never seen. The night erupted into chaos. Flames from the barbarian encampments reflected off the Rhine's dark waters, casting a hellish glow on the battlefield. Marcus Valerius stood at the center of the 12th Legion, shield raised, sword poised. The sound of clashing steel and anguished screams filled the air, a symphony of death that no Roman poet could ever romanticize. "Hold the line," Marcus roared, his voice cutting through the roar of battle. His men responded with disciplined fury, forming a tight phalanx despite the betrayal. Each step was a calculation, each strike a desperate bid to survive, but the treachery ran deeper than he imagined. From the ridge above, Cassius Varro signaled the retreating legions, guiding them to abandon Rome's flank entirely. The enemy saw the opening and surged forward, a living tide of axes and shields. Marcus's stomach twisted as he realized the deadly trap. Loyal soldiers were surrounded and reinforcements would not come. "Marcus, the eastern flank is falling," Lucius shouted, stabbing an enemy soldier with precise fury. "We'll be encircled in minutes," Marcus's mind raced. Retreat was impossible. Surrender meant slaughter. He needed cunning. He barked orders. Form a wedge. Push them toward the river. Use the terrain. "If we fall, we take as many with us as we can." The 12th responded with a ferocity born of desperation. They funneled the attacking barbarians into a narrow valley, where the muddy banks of the Rhine swallowed horses and men alike. Flaming arrows streaked across the sky, igniting brush and sowing confusion among the enemy. Marcus fought like a man possessed, each swing of his sword carving through the shadow of betrayal that had fallen over Rome's proud legion. Amid the chaos, Marcus caught sight of Cassius Varro himself, striding through the carnage with calculated calm. "You will die here, Marcus," Varro shouted, his voice carrying above the din. "We'll kneel before those who understand power. I fight for Rome, not traitors." Marcus yelled, charging. Their swords collided with a clang that echoed like thunder. Sparks flew. Around them, soldiers fell in torrents, the earth soaked in blood. Yet even as Marcus parried and struck, you could feel the Empire's heartbeat faltering. The betrayal was not only military, it was political. Letters smuggled between senators and generals ensured that Varro's treachery would be covered, his crimes excused, all in pursuit of ambition. Rome's halls of marble had become as deadly as the battlefield. Hours passed like minutes. The loyal legions held their ground, but at a terrible cost. Corpses littered the valley, cries of the wounded mixed with the shrill laughter of traitors. Marcus, bloodied and exhausted, realized that tonight was only the beginning. As dawn's first light crept over the horizon, a scout returned, panting. "A centurion, reinforcements. They're gone. The conspirators have intercepted the carriers." Rome itself trembles. Marcus's eyes narrowed, dark with resolve. "Then we make them pay, all of them. But first we survive this day." Above the ridge, a shadowy figure watched Marcus and his surviving legionaries, a messenger whispering urgent words to a hidden council. The storm of betrayal was far from over, and Rome's bloody reckoning had only just begun. The valley lay drenched in the grisly light of dawn, fog curling around shattered shields and broken spears. Marcus Valerius, bloodied and exhausted, stood amidst the remnants of his loyal 12th Legion. Around him, the moans of the wounded mingled with the distant cries of retreating barbarians. Victory was bitter, survival had a hollow taste, but the true reckoning was yet to come. Cassius Varro had fled, retreating to the northern stronghold where he plotted the final betrayal. Marcus, with his few remaining soldiers, pursued him across the treacherous terrain, through burned villages and collapsed bridges, where every step reminded him that trust in Rome had become a dangerous illusion. At the stronghold, the confrontation was inevitable. Marcus burst through the gate, sword drawn, only to find Varro standing before a council of conspirators. Letters of treachery spread like a map of doom. "Marcus Valerius," Varro sneered, "you fight bravely, but bravery cannot save the dying heart of Rome. This empire belongs to those willing to betray it. I fight for Rome," Marcus spat, voice raw with anger. "And not for power, not for treachery, and not for men like you." The duel that followed was merciless. Sparks flew as steel met steel, each strike echoing the fury of betrayal and the pain of comrades lost. Varro was skilled, but Marcus fought with the weight of an empire on his shoulders, his grief for fallen brothers fueling every swing. Finally, with a roar that shook the courtyard, Marcus disarmed Varro and forced him to his knees. The council of conspirators hesitated, fear in their eyes. Marcus's gaze swept over them. Rome survives not because of the ambitious, but because of the loyal. Your schemes end here. He signaled his men to seize the conspirators. Justice was swift, brutal, and absolute, a warning that betrayal, however cunning, carried a price in blood. As the sun rose fully over the northern frontier, Marcus stood atop the battlements, looking over the valley. Thousands had died, and the 12th Legion was but a shadow of its former glory. Yet the empire endured. Rome would rebuild, scarred but unbroken, its survival a testament to loyalty and sacrifice. In the quiet aftermath, Marcus reflected on the cost of honor. He had witnessed brothers turn to enemies, armies crumble from within, and the fragile line between ambition and treachery. Yet amidst the horror, he had learned a painful truth. The strength of Rome lay not in stone walls or silver coins, but in the courage of those who chose duty over self-interest. The wind carried the distant murmur of rebuilding cities and the hopeful cries of a people who would remember this day as both tragedy and triumph. Marcus sheathed his sword, knowing the scars of betrayal would linger, yet confident that Rome's heart, though tested, still beat strong. Betrayed by their own, Rome faced death at the hands of those who swore loyalty. But in the end, courage and honor held the empire together. History remembers the blood and the betrayal, but also the bravery of those who refused to let Rome fall. For every empire, the greatest battles are not just fought on the battlefield, but within the hearts of those who protect